Hey guys, it's Indigo, and I'm going to try and explain to you how to create a Vampire the Masquerade sheet for the RP that y'all want to do. So, yeah, I've got a sheet here in front of me. It's on the website that I've linked. I hope that there's going to be like some sort of FAQ up where, like there's a link to everything, but you're here, you get the sheet. We're gonna fill out the sheet. Okay. So I think it's best if you all just use this one. It's rather small. It doesn't have too much detail, but it has everything you need. So first you're gonna have to come up with a name. At this point, I'm gonna assume that everyone has already thought about their character. What kind of character? What kind of human being was this character? Their personality, and what are their strengths, their weaknesses? At this point, you should already have thought about that. So you're gonna go with a name. Let's just call her Jane Doe. And the player is just gonna be your own name. And the chronicle is kind of, if you're gonna be playing a chronicle that already exists, you can put in the name. But I'm just gonna be calling it the Ghoul Army, RP, whatever. You can just, if you guys want to decide on anything, you can put it there. So then you're gonna go into things that are actually in the book. So everything that I'm going to be talking about is in the book already, but I'm just going to try and distill it so it's a little bit easier to take in. So you have your nature and your demeanor. Now, your nature is what your character actually is deep down, and the demeanor is what they show to the outside world. And there is a whole list in the book. There's just a list of natures and demeanors that you can choose from. And it's, let's see, I'm also looking at my own book, so I'm like giving you the actual information. Yeah, it's listed under personality archetypes, nature and demeanor, and it has a couple. And for example, you can choose from all of those. For example, you have the architect. The architect has a sense of purpose, even greater than herself. She's truly happy only when created something of lasting value for others. People will also always need things, and the architect strives to provide at least one necessity. Investors, pioneers, town funders, entrepreneurs, and all alike are archetypes. And when you choose that, you will regain a point of willpower whenever you establish something of importance or lasting value. Now, something like this can be a demeanor or a nature. It can be that this is what they are deep down, then you would put that as a nature. Or it can be something that they show to the world, which might not necessarily be their true selves. And that's when you're going to put it with demeanor. So there's a whole list. You can just read through those and you can see what fits best for the character concept that you have, right? Okay, so for clan, if you're at all familiar with my videos, which I'm pretty sure you are at this point, you know that there are a lot of different clans for vampires, and all of them have their own strengths and weaknesses. I'm not sure exactly what kind of campaign you're going to be running, but I'm going to assume it's going to be Camarilla only. And the Camarilla has 7 clans. I'm going to fail this probably, but it's Ventru, Toreador, Nosferatu, Malkavian, Tremere. I'm on the spot, so I can't do this shit, but it's in the book. Like, even if you Google for like Camarilla clans, it's gonna be like a list of all the Camarilla clans. And basically, you just gotta choose one. In the book, there's a lot of information on all of them, so you can just choose what you think fits best. Like I said, all of them do have their weaknesses and have their strengths, so it's just up to what you want. But I'm not sure what kind of campaign you are going to be playing, but it's easiest to stick to the Camarilla clans. They're the, especially for beginners, they're the easiest to play. Okay, so the generation is, oh shit, how do I explain that to people who have no clue? Every time, okay, you have the very first vampire. The very first vampire is a vampire called Cain. He created 3 vampires, they all created 3 vampires, and so forth, like, and The very first vampires, of course, has the most powers, the most pure in like the bloodline, if you want to call it that. And it just goes down, and the power slowly diminishes. And it goes all the way up to 13. That's the baseline, like what most vampires are in 2016 basically. And every time it goes up, it's a little stronger, right? So like 12 is stronger than 13, 11 is stronger than 12, and so forth. And 14 and 15, those are thin bloods. The vampire blood is so diluted that they're not really regarded as full vampires, and they're very weak compared, and they're even hunted by actual like full blood vampires. Now, most people start out at generation 13 because they were sires, embraced being turned into a vampire by someone who is generation 12. But okay, so it goes down. I'm really bad at explaining this shit, but if a vampire that is generation 10 embraces you, you'll be 11. If someone who is generation 12 embraces you, you will be 13. You start out at 13, everyone does, but you can put in points to go higher if you want. Okay. So I'm actually gonna fill this out. I'm just gonna put in some random stuff. What's the other one? See, I don't have the book on me right now. I'm just gonna really just put something in there again. And clan trader again. So generation is gonna be 12th, so I can show you later. Your haven is just where your house is or what you want your house to be called. It kind of depends. It doesn't have to be official. It just can be like, you can just put like apartment or like an old church. Whatever, just wherever you wanna live. But it has to make sense for your character and for the resource that they have. Then the concept is another thing. You can either take a concept completely from the book. There are some pre-made characters, of course, or you can just come up with your own. So this will be like I don't know, lonely pets, lady, whatever. It's just for your own things. Okay. So now I get that done with, and now we're gonna get into the meat of it. So these are the stats, and the stats are going to determine how strong you are at certain things as a vampire. It's going to determine how you're going to do in certain situations, etc. So there are 3 categories of attributes, as you can see. You can have physical here, you have social, and you have mental. Now you're going to have to prioritize these. You're going to have the first priority, second, and the third priority. So let's see. The first priority will have, you can put in 7 points, the second 5, and the last 3. Okay, so for example, this character, I'm going to prioritize my social attributes. I have 7 points to divide up in this. If you want to know exactly what, for example, charisma or what, for example, stamina does, you can look it up in the books. There's just detailed information about exactly what it does. Alright? So you can just divide that up as you want. So we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just like that. The first one you get free, so it's on top of that first one. Okay. And then the second one, second priority, I'm gonna go in mental, so that one gets 5 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can divide those up however you like, of course, as that's all up to you. And then physical, you get 3 points, or the last priority. But for me, I'm gonna do physical, so it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. Okay. So then you have your abilities. You've got talents, skills, and knowledges. Now, you don't get any points right off the bat, and when you create a character, you can only go up to 3. No more than 3 dots when you create a character per skill. Okay, and the same thing is going to happen here with the prioritizing. Only the first priority gets 13, the second gets 9, and the last gets 5. So I'm not like looking at what I'm exactly doing, but I'm just going to put some stuff in. So this one gets 13, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You can just divide it up as long as it's 13. And then the second one is going to have 9, so I'm going to put that in knowledges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the last one has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's what you need to know for the abilities. Then, that's the easy part done with, pretty much. Then you have your advantages, and there's a couple of them. And we're going to start out with backgrounds. So you can have 5 points in backgrounds right off the bat, and it doesn't. You notice that it doesn't say anything. You got to fill it out yourself. There are a couple of backgrounds that you can choose from, and they're all in the book basically. So it's easiest if you just go for the book and figure that one out. But the background is also where you're gonna have to put your generation if it's higher than 13, and it is higher. We got 12, so we're gonna have to put 1 point in generation because that's the prerequisite for having a higher than 13 generation. So we can have some in fame. Maybe this person has fame. We can have some in resources, which is mostly like, how much stuff they have and money and houses. And so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Maybe they have a herds. This is just, there's like a list of this, I think. There is a list of this. Like, you can choose from certain things. I just know these 4 things off the top of my head. So you gotta put 5 points in there. Then you have disciplines. Now your disciplines are actually dependent on which clan you have. So you're gonna have to look at your clan. In my case, it's gonna be Toreador. And every clan has 3 basic disciplines that they have. And Toreador has, and this, like everything about the disciplines, like it's listed in the book. You can just figure out exactly what each discipline does and how much dots in that discipline you need to do certain things. Okay, so the disciplines for a Toreador are aspects, celerity, and presence. So I'm just going to put 1 point in each for ease. Alrighty, let's see. Sorry for the planes and just my general franticness in this. Okay, and then you got your virtues. Okay, so it says here conscience, conviction, self-control, instinct. The conviction and the instinct, ignore that. That's only if you play a Sabbat character because they have different types of virtues and everything about them just works differently. Okay. So you get 7 points to divvy up here on top of the first points that you get for free. So we're gonna go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Okay. Okay. So after that, you're gonna have to put in your humanity. This thing where you can type, that is only the path. That's only if you play a Sabbat character. So only think about humanity for now. Okay. So so this is going to be empty, but your humanity is basically, let's see, it's equal to your conscience and self-control. So you have your conscience and self-control, which is, for me, it's 6. So my humanity is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then your willpower is going to be equal to courage. For me, that is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So your health is only going to be something that you're going to have to adjust when you're actually playing. Your experiences is going to be something that you get from the storyteller once the roleplay is in order, and that experience points you can use to buy more points in anything you want, you know, like during play, basically. And your blood pool, I think it's like, what is your blood pool again? Yeah, I think your blood pool is like the same as your humanity, but it doesn't really matter for play generally. So then you have merits and flaws. That's definitely a bit of an advanced thing. I'm not sure if you guys want to use it, but you can if you want. But I'm gonna have to explain something else first. You also get 15 freebie points, and those freebie points, this is the time where you get to spend those freebie points. But you can't just like, it's not like one dot is a freebie point. An attribute is worth 5 points. You get 15 points, and if you want to raise this one to here, for example, you're gonna have to spend 5 points of those 15 points. An ability, any ability, is 2 points. A discipline right here, is 7 points per dot. A background is 1 point per dot. A virtue is 2 points per dot, and your humanity and willpower are 1 per dot. Willpower can be pretty useful if you're doing some serious play. Humanity is mostly the way that your vampire looks at the world. This is all explained in the book, by the way, like your humanity and like what it affects. But the average thing to keep in mind, an average human being's humanity would be 7. So if you want to go above or below that, that's your own prerogative, of course. Yeah. so so you get those 15 points, and you can divvy those up however you would like. And all this information, as well as like how much the freebie points are worth when you divvy them up at the end, it's all in the book as well. But there's also merits and flaws. And in the book, you have a list of all the merits and flaws you can take, as well as resources online and just anything like that. And you can use these to really fine-tune your character. A lot of merits and flaws, they affect your gameplay. For example, you might have a merit with that gives you exceptional sense of smell, or you might have a flaw where you're losing a limb or something like that, which or it can be like more supernatural things. Like a flaw could be dark fate, which could mean anything depending on your storyteller and what they want to do with that in regards to your backstory. There's a whole list of them. I advise you to just check them out at your leisure and see if there's anything that fits your character. And what it does is every merit takes away points of your freebie points. And it is listed in the book as well as online. Behind the merit itself, it's listed how much you have to pay in freebie points. But flaws give you extra freebie points, right? So you can have, so it kind of like plays against each other. You can have a total. You can have as many as merits and flaws as you want, as long as you can afford it. But your flaws, you can only gain up to 7 freebie points from that. You can have more flaws. You can have flaws that give you like a minus or like a plus 20, but you can only use 7 of those points to put back into other points or other merits or stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's about it, really. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask me or anyone else. But yeah, that's basically how to make a character sheet for Vampire the Masquerade. I hope it helps.